Hello, welcome back or welcome to another video. So I thought in today's video we could talk about 25 of the books that I'm excited to read in 2025. Some of these are new releases and then some of them are just series that I need to finish or books that were on my radar for this year that I never got round to. And they are also in no particular order either. So the first, I have if I keep looking down it's because my phone is here because my memory is awful. So first on my list I have written down The Women by Chris and Hannah. I read The Nightingale by Chris and Hannah this year. But I also read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and something that I've noticed is that I quite like historical elements in my books, and I think Chris and Hannah is like the queen of like historical fiction, so I am excited to read some more of hers. Then we have Assassin's Blade by Sarah J Maas. So basically in 2025 my plan is to read the entire Throne of Glass series. I have both Assassin's Blade and Throne of Glass on my physical TBR. As a group I think we're doing like a big like buddy read for the series starting in January, and I think we've also decided as a group to start with Assassin's Blade. The arguments that people put forward for starting with Assassin's Blade outweigh the arguments that people put forward for starting with Throne of Glass. So I think that's how I'm going to do it. Unless you feel very, very strongly that I read Throne of Glass first, but let me know. I'm open to hearing opinions, but just so far this opinion is winning for me. Then also following on from Throne of Glass, we have House of Earth and Blood, so like the Crescent City series. I just really want to have like the whole like Sarah J Maasiverse like ticked off. So that's why that's on my list. There's not really much more to say. I'm excited to read that one. I'm excited to see if I like Crescent City. And I don't want to put them off for too long. I feel like after ACOTAR I was like, I don't think I could read anymore because I enjoyed ACOTAR so much. But I think I just need to like not power through, but like put my big girl pants on and read them. Then we have When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. I really, really want to get to this because in July of next year I am meeting my besties and we are going to Rare and Sarah A. Parker is going to be there, so it'd be nice to have this read to take this with me to get it signed by her. Obviously all the books on my TBR are books that I want to get read in 2025, but these are like, if I was to just sit there and not have my TBR, which books am I going to think of? And this is what I came up with. And then number 5 we have Heartless Hunter / The Crimson Moth, because I know that the second book comes out next year and I just feel like this is a series that I'm going to enjoy. So I mean I've heard that it's like Witch and Witch Hunter. What more could you want? Number 6, this is a big one. I am so excited for this. Well, I'm half excited, half absolutely petrified. And that is Onyx Storm. Miss Rebecca Yarros, I will be sending you a bill with any charges for emotional damage if things happen in this book that I think could happen in this book. Like, I have never been so, like, I want it to be out and I want to read it, but I also just have this, I just know that reading that book is going to cause irreparable damage to me. So I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know. Then we have Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. Anything by Emily Henry I'm going to read and I'm sure I'm going to enjoy. But also in 2025 I want to read like everything that she has out, but I just wanted to include her new release because I thought that made more sense. Then we have Sunrise on the Reaping, which is another Hunger Games prequel about Haymitch's games, and actually he's been one of my favourite characters for a very long time. Like if I was to pick characters that I wanted books on, my picks would have been Haymitch, Cinna, and Finnick. Mainly Finnick, just because I want more of him, and the only way we'll get more of him is by going to the before. But I feel like Haymitch and Cinna have really interesting stories. I mean, maybe even the Haymitch one could be like the Cinna one, like half Cinna, half Effie. Just because I want to see like their life in the capital and like growing up and how they got to where they were. And that went on a really random tangent. Number 9, we have Deep End by Ali Hazelwood, which is a swimmer diver romance, I think. Whatever it is, it's Ali Hazelwood, and I can't wait. I read, what did I read? I read her Christmas novella, 75 pages, and it was the best male main character I've ever read about in my life, and you're telling me he will forever only live in those 75 pages? Crime. An actual crime. Then we have Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. Again, she can do no wrong in my eyes, so I'm excited to read more by her. Like, just give me all of it. Then we have Wild Side, which is the 3rd in the Rose Hill series by Elsie Silver. I love the first 2 so much, and I didn't think I would because I like Chestnut Springs so much. And then I was like, how can you make it... It's like that fine line of how can you make it different enough from Chestnut Springs that it doesn't just feel like Chestnut Springs all over again, but also similar enough that you're like, yes, this is why I loved Chestnut Springs. But so far she's doing it, and I'm excited for the 3rd book. I can't remember who the 3rd book follows off the top of my head, but I just know that I'm excited for it. Then we have Wild and Wrangled, which is the next in the Rebel Blue Ranch series by Lila Sage. Yeah, I'm excited to see where they go with that story and to see more of those characters, because all we've seen so far is like little bits and pieces. Then we have Fearless by Lauren Roberts. So this is the 3rd. Is it a trilogy? Is this the final one? Maybe. She might even pull a Alex Astor and... No, it is a trilogy, surely. Yes, Fearless. So 3rd and final in like the Powerless trilogy. If you know me, you know that Reckless for me was a bit of a letdown. So I'm excited for Fearless to hopefully bring us back to what we loved so much in the first book. Fingers crossed. This could make or break this series for me, and that hurts my heart because I have my, you can't see it, but my top shelf is all of my editions of, because I've pre-ordered the, what's it called? Like the exclusive edition of Powerless and Reckless, and obviously I did that before I read Reckless. I probably still would have ordered them because I love Powerless so much, and I have got the same version of Fearless coming when it's out, but I just hope that I love Fearless. Otherwise, how can I say that a series is my favourite if I only like the first book in it? So, fingers crossed, I like that. Then we have One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. Now, I put her new release for next year. I read this year, This Summer Will Be Different, and I really enjoyed that book. So really, as like a blanket statement, I want to read more by Carly Fortune to see if that was like a one-hit wonder, or to see if I, as a person, really gel with her writing. We have a couple now that are books that were on my radar for this year, but I never got round to them. So we have Gothicana by Runix. I don't know a lot about it. All I know is that it's like a dark, is it like dark gothic maybe? I know that Gabby, that is so funny, she literally just texted in the group as I said that. Gabby, we love her. She has very strong opinions on books that she likes and books that she doesn't like, and she loves it when you read a book that she does like. So I'm excited to read that because I'm sure that's like one of her favourite books of the year. And then on a similar dark gothic vein, we have Nocticadia by Kerry Lake. I just saw quite a few people reading that this year, and I was like, why not branch out, give it a go, see how it is. Then we have The Rag Picker King by Cassandra Clare, which is the second in the Chronicles of Castellane. The first one being The Swordcatcher, and then you have The Rag Picker King. I'm just so excited to see like where this story goes next, because there's so much like unknown and like mystery to it, and I think because it is focusing solely on the political side of it, there's not really like, how do I work? There's not really like a step-by-step guide on how it's going to go. You know, like, I love romantasy. I'm a big romantasy fan, but I feel like we all know how it's eventually going to go. Like, we know what the steps are within a romantasy. I feel like this has the potential, because it doesn't rely on romance, to do whatever it wants to do. So that's really exciting. It's like keeping me on my toes. Then we have the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy that I want to read, because I am on a finale, which I'm hoping to get finished in December. So then that leads me onto that trilogy for next year, which is about Jax. He's the King of Hearts, and we met him in Legendary, and so I'm excited to see where his story goes. Yeah, makes my heart like when I think about it. Then we have the fourth Lightlark book. I don't think any names or anything has been announced. All she announced was that there was 2 coming in 2025. Wait, are they coming in 2025? I'm sure she said next year. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Then on my list, I have Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I read The Invisible Life of Annie LaRue and I really enjoyed it. And then I think Vicious and Vengeful is a duology, and it's sort of like anti-hero, like superhero power. I've not read a book like that before, and I just thought it sounds interesting. It's different from things that I normally read, so I'm excited to give that a go. We also have Rewind It Back, which is the final book in the 5th and final book in the Windy 5th? Mile High, Right Move, Caught Up, Play Along. Yeah, the 5th and final in the Windy City series. And this is Rio's book, I think, so he's finally getting his own book. And I literally read them back to back to back to back when I was on holiday. Like, they were just so fun, and like, I've said it before and I'll say it again, the men, Liz Tom Ford, what she puts in her men is like, she's got like the magic secret formula. Then we have The Defender by Anna Huang, and I'm excited to read this one because I'm still 50-50 with The Striker. Like, I loved the characters, and she writes banter, she writes banter between her characters really well, and like the tension and things like that I really love. But I'm also interested to see where she goes with the football, like the English football storyline, because I get that with most sports romances, the sport doesn't actually play that big of a role. Like most hockey romances that you pick up, it's more just like the found family that you get within like playing for a sports team. But there were just some things in The Striker that I was like, I don't feel that you have a strong connection or understanding to English football. So I'm interested to see which direction she takes with this next book. I like how she's gone like the striker, the defender. So I'm just excited to see like where this book goes. Then we have Saving Six by Chloe Walsh. Basically my goal in 2025 is to finish what is out already of the Boys of Tommen series. So we have Saving Six, Redeeming Six are the next two, which is Joey and Aoife's book, and I love Joey. Like, I'm so excited. I'm surprised actually that I haven't already picked them up, but I think it was because I was trying to read what I already own, which I was doing quite well with, and then this month we won't talk about that. And then last but not least, because I think actually this is the book that I am most excited for, like this, the night before this book comes out is going to be Christmas Eve for me. The release date for this book is August 5th, 2025, which is 3 days after my 27th birthday. So I will be 27 when I finally get to read this book, which is kind of scary, but I can't wait. And that is The Wrath of the Fallen by Ambervie Nicole. So that is the 4th book in the Gods and Monsters series. I'm sure that this is like a 7-book series, and I just can't wait. And like, we're on book 3, and I feel like when you get to like book 3 and then you're anticipating book 4, that's normally like a good gauge on to whether or not the series needs to be that long. This series needs to be that long. Like, there's no way that you would have wrapped this up in 3 books. Like, there's just so much going on and so much to still happen. And the cliffhanger from The Dawn of the Cursed Queen was just insane. Like, I'm going to go insane waiting for this book. I literally, I need it now. I need it as soon as possible. Like, Amber, if you're watching this, maybe I could still be 26 while reading this book, because I can get it as an early birthday present. It's my Christmas wish, it's my birthday wish. I need to read this book. I'm just gonna go sit and stare at a wall for a few hours now, just thinking about this. But yeah, they are the 25 books that I am excited to read in 2025. I feel like I've got a good mix of new releases and books that are already out but are on my radar. Let me know if there are any big releases for next year that I have missed. But also let me know if there are any fantasy series out there. Oh wait! I missed one. The Kingdom of the Wicked by Kerry Maniscalco. Ruth has recently been reading them, and she was obsessed, so now I need to be obsessed. So that is also, I don't know anything about the plot, I just know that fantasy, romantasy, and Ruth was obsessed, and that was enough for me. Straight on the TBR. 5. I feel like I have a good mix of new releases and then just books that have been on my radar throughout this year that I haven't got to. If I've missed any big releases for next year, or if there are any that I should have on my radar for next year, let me know. And also if there are any like good fantasy series that you really can sink your teeth into, let me know, because I need another obsession to tide me over until The Wrath of the Fallen next year. If you enjoyed today's video, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. It means a lot to me, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye!